Buried beneath the carcass of a dog, investigators unearthed a hidden cache of digital storage devices at the property of Christian Brueckner, the prime suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. These devices, discovered during a 2016 search, contained disturbing materials, including writings detailing fantasies of abducting and abusing children, as well as images that authorities found deeply concerning. The contents of these hard drives have led German police to believe that Madeleine, who vanished in 27 at the age of 3, is deceased. This revelation, highlighted in a recent Channel 4 documentary, has reignited public interest in the case and brought renewed scrutiny to Brueckner's potential involvement. On the night of May 3, 2007, in the quiet seaside village of Praia da Luz, Portugal, 3-year-old Madeleine McCann disappeared from her family's holiday apartment. She had been sleeping in a ground floor unit with her 2 younger siblings while her parents, Kate and Jerry McCann, dined at a nearby tapas restaurant with friends just a short walk away. The group had arranged a rotation system to check on their children throughout the evening. Around early evening, Jerry checked in and found everything normal. Another family friend checked shortly after but didn't enter the room. Later that night, when Kate returned to check, she walked into a nightmare. Madeleine's bed was empty. The window was open. The shutters were raised. There were no signs of forced entry, no cries for help, no credible eyewitnesses, just a silent, terrifying void where a child had been just moments earlier. And in that moment, a missing persons case became a global obsession. In the days following Madeleine McCann's disappearance, the investigation by Portuguese police quickly came under fire. The apartment was not sealed off immediately. Neighbors, friends, and even journalists walked through the scene before forensics could secure it. Crucial evidence may have been lost in those first few hours. As pressure mounted and leads dried up, investigators began to focus on an unexpected direction: Madeleine's parents. Several months after her disappearance, Kate and Jerry McCann were officially named suspects by Portuguese authorities. That move was based on circumstantial details, scent dogs, forensic inconsistencies, and speculative theories, but none of it held up under scrutiny. Meanwhile, the media turned relentless. Tabloids ran wild with theories. Every expression, every decision the McCanns made was analyzed and often twisted. By the summer of the following year, the case was shelved. No arrests, no charges, and still no trace of Madeleine. The investigation had stalled, buried under bad assumptions, media chaos, and a trail gone cold. In the days and weeks following Madeleine McCann's disappearance, her image became omnipresent. British tabloids featured her story on their front pages daily, with headlines like "You killed Maddie" and "We can prove parents did it," reflecting the intense media scrutiny and speculation surrounding the case. The media frenzy extended beyond the UK, capturing international attention. Television networks across Europe and the United States covered the story extensively, turning Madeleine's disappearance into a global news event. Public appeals for information were widespread. Find Madeleine posters featuring her photograph and details were distributed in multiple languages and displayed in various countries. The campaign's website reportedly attracted millions of hits shortly after its launch, indicating the vast public interest and concern. Financial support poured in from around the world. Donations from individuals, organizations, and businesses contributed to a fund established to aid the search for Madeleine. These funds supported private investigations, awareness campaigns, and other efforts aimed at finding her. The combination of relentless media coverage, international public engagement, and substantial financial backing underscores why any new development in Madeleine McCann's case continues to resonate globally. Christian Brueckner is a German national with a long criminal history, including convictions for sexual offenses against children and the rape of a 72-year-old woman in Praia da Luz in 2005. In 2007, Brueckner was living in the Algarve region of Portugal, near the resort where Madeleine McCann disappeared. He was known to have worked in the area, including at hotels around the resort. Brueckner's criminal activities date back to his youth, with offenses including theft and drug trafficking. He has been convicted of multiple sexual offenses, including child abuse and possession of child pornography. In 2016, German police searched a property belonging to Brueckner and discovered a hidden cache of digital storage devices buried beneath the carcass of a dog. These devices contained disturbing materials, including writings detailing fantasies of abducting and abusing children, as well as images that authorities found deeply concerning. Despite being named a suspect in the Madeleine McCann case, Brueckner has not been charged due to insufficient evidence. He remains in prison in Germany for unrelated offenses. In early summer 2020, German police made an announcement that sent shockwaves around the world. For the first time in 13 years, they publicly named a new prime suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, Christian Brueckner. Authorities stated they had what they called concrete evidence linking him to Maddie's case. They claimed he had been in the immediate area of the resort on the night she vanished and had a criminal history that matched the profile of the abduction. But then came the chilling part. The German prosecutor declared that, in their view, Madeleine was no longer alive. No body, no DNA, no eyewitness. And yet, they stood firm. Still, they offered no physical proof to the public. No files were released. No charges were brought forward. It was a dramatic claim without visible substance. And just like that, the case moved into an even more mysterious phase, one where the truth seemed closer, but still out of reach. In 2016, during a search of Christian Brueckner's property in Neuwied, Germany, investigators uncovered a buried cache containing USB sticks and memory cards. These devices were found beneath the remains of Brueckner's dog. The digital storage devices contained disturbing materials, including writings detailing fantasies of abducting and abusing children, as well as images that authorities found deeply concerning. Additional items discovered at the property included children's clothing, toys, and weapons. These findings have led German police to believe that Madeleine McCann, who disappeared in 2007 at the age of 3, is deceased. Despite these discoveries, Brueckner has not been charged in connection with Madeleine's disappearance due to a lack of forensic evidence. In 2016, during a police search of a property used by Christian Brueckner in northern Germany, investigators made a disturbing find. Buried beneath the decaying body of a dead dog, wrapped in plastic, they uncovered a stash of USB sticks and hard drives. These devices had been hidden deliberately deep underground, far from easy reach. When investigators examined the contents, what they found shocked even seasoned detectives. The drives contained thousands of disturbing images. They also included handwritten documents where Brueckner had reportedly written out violent fantasies, some involving the abduction and abuse of children. German authorities have since said that this material supports their belief that Madeleine McCann is no longer alive. But here's the problem. None of it directly proves involvement in Maddie's disappearance. No mention of her name. No photos of her. Nothing concrete to tie the files to the night she vanished. Still, the psychological profile and pattern of behavior painted by these files have become central to the theory that Brueckner may be guilty and that this buried digital trove could hold the darkest secrets of the case. The hard drives buried beneath Brueckner's dog were more than just disturbing, they were revealing. According to investigators, some of the handwritten documents found alongside the digital files included descriptions of kidnappings, sadistic fantasies, and a fascination with children. While the writings did not name Madeleine directly, the language and timing were enough for German police to connect them to her case. One note allegedly described a scenario where a child would be taken from a holiday setting eerily similar to the circumstances surrounding Maddie's disappearance in 27. Prosecutors have said that the content is so extreme that it goes beyond normal criminal behavior. They believe it establishes a psychological profile consistent with someone capable of abducting and harming a child. Digital forensics experts have also confirmed the devices were last accessed shortly after Madeleine vanished, adding weight to the theory that Brueckner may have tried to hide or destroy something. But so far, none of this has led to formal charges. The files raise suspicion, they hint at obsession, but they don't yet prove what happened to Madeleine McCann. And that's what keeps this case trapped between shocking discovery and unsolved mystery. Back in 2007, the tools investigators had were limited. No advanced GPS triangulation, no deep digital forensics, no cross-border criminal databases that spoke to each other in real time. Much of the early investigation relied on witness memory, physical footprints, and local interviews, all of which faded quickly or contradicted each other. The only known fact was that a child had vanished without a trace. Fast forward to 2025, and the landscape looks completely different. Today, investigators have digital forensics that can extract deleted files, reconstruct browsing habits, and trace devices across borders. Timestamps on Brueckner's recovered hard drives, metadata, and location data now give authorities tools they didn't have 18 years ago. Authorities also have access to EU-wide offender databases, cooperation treaties, and new psychological profiling software that paints a fuller picture of a suspect's behavior. The difference is more than just time. It's evidence, digital, psychological, and forensic, all being used in a way that simply wasn't possible when Madeleine first disappeared. And while it's not enough to bring charges yet, it's finally helping connect dots that once seemed impossibly scattered. Despite mounting evidence, the path to justice remains tangled in bureaucracy and borders. Since 2020, German prosecutors have insisted they're confident Christian Brueckner is responsible for Madeleine McCann's disappearance. They say the case is strong even without a body and that the digital evidence and behavioral patterns speak volumes. But in Portugal, where the crime occurred, authorities have taken a more cautious stance. Portuguese law requires more direct evidence before charges can be filed. They've repeatedly requested additional proof from their German counterparts, including forensic links or a confirmed confession. So far, those requests haven't produced anything decisive. The result is a legal stalemate with two countries, two sets of rules, and one case stuck in the middle. Jurisdiction issues have slowed everything. Each country has its own timeline, its own priorities, and its own legal threshold for prosecution. And for Madeleine's family, that means more waiting, more silence, more frustration. 18 years later, the question isn't just who took Maddie, it's which country will finally bring justice. In early May 2025, just days after the 18-year anniversary of Madeleine McCann's disappearance, a new documentary dropped reigniting public interest worldwide. Produced by Channel 4 in collaboration with The Sun, the investigation dives deep into the suspect's background, focusing especially on what was found on the buried hard drives. The documentary revealed disturbing excerpts from Brueckner's personal notes, writings that detailed violent fantasies and mirrored the circumstances of Maddie's abduction almost too closely. It also included exclusive interviews with German prosecutors and criminal psychologists who claimed the material on the drives points clearly to premeditated behavior and deep psychological instability. Viewers were shown timelines, forensic evidence logs, and never before aired surveillance photos placing Brueckner near the Ocean Club resort during the exact window of Madeleine's disappearance. The show didn't claim to solve the case, but it added pressure. By combining newly released files, expert analysis, and digital reconstructions, it brought the public one step closer to understanding what authorities believe and why they're convinced Brueckner holds the key. And just like that, the headlines returned. The case was everywhere again, and the world was watching. 18 years have passed since Madeleine McCann vanished from her bed in a quiet holiday town. Today, Christian Brueckner sits in a German prison, but not for Maddie. He's serving time for other crimes, including the violent rape of a woman in the same region where Madeleine disappeared. Despite new evidence, buried files, and international investigations, no one has been charged for what happened that night in 2007. Madeleine's parents, Kate and Jerry, have never given up hope. They've remained in the public eye holding press conferences, issuing statements, and pleading for answers. But the years have taken their toll. Brueckner denies any involvement, no confession, no trial, no closure. For a case that once felt like it might be solved at any moment, it now lives in a strange limbo, trapped between what investigators believe and what they can prove. And so the question remains, will this finally lead to justice? Or is the truth still buried, just like those hard drives once were? After all these years, the case of Madeleine McCann still feels like it's holding something back. We have a suspect, we have buried hard drives, we have timelines, psychological profiles, and digital traces, but we still don't have a trial, we still don't have the truth. So now it's your turn. Do you think the evidence against Christian Brueckner is enough? Do you believe this case is finally moving toward justice, or is it just another cycle of headlines with no resolution? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about what justice really looks like 18 years later. If you followed this case for years, or if today was your first time hearing it in detail, thank you for being part of the story. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann isn't just a cold case. It's a symbol of how long families can wait, how far investigators will dig, and how sometimes even the truth can stay buried. If you want updates on this case and others like it, real stories, real evidence, no fluff, hit subscribe and turn on alerts. There's always another case, another clue, another breakthrough. And we'll be right here when it happens.